there is still one more preseason game to go in preseason week 2, but it's still late enough where it is time to break down exactly the things that we have learned from this previous week of watching the NFL, starting off with an offense that we can expect to score a ton of points, but we have no idea who the actual high-scoring wide receivers are going to be from this offense. That's the San Francisco 49ers. We are targeting Ricky Pearsall because he started off the game hot. San Francisco 49ers starters opened up the game, and Ricky Pearsall caught the first 3 completions from quarterback Brock Purdy. Brandon Ayuk is hurt. Juwan Jennings is hurt. The Juwan Jennings injury is especially scary because it is the same calf that he injured earlier in the offseason. So we can expect him to be, a little bit more careful coming back. Maybe it takes him a little bit more time to come back. But in the meantime, I am pushing up all healthy San Francisco starting players up my board. That includes Christian McCaffrey, Pearsall, and then George Kittle, who's one of my absolute favorite guys to draft. But Ricky Pearsall, couple impressive catches. You can be excited if you have him in Dynasty or if you were already targeting him in redraft. The next guy that we are going to be talking about here is someone who didn't have a good game. Unfortunately, rookie out of Iowa, Caleb Johnson, is stuck behind Kenneth Gainwell on the depth chart. Arthur Smith, the the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is always known for doing crazy things that fantasy managers don't ever agree with, and this is just one of those other things. It feels like Caleb Johnson has significantly more talent than Kenneth Gainwell, but for whatever reason, Kenneth Gainwell is the current backup running back to Jaylen Warren in Pittsburgh. This is not projected to be a very strong offense. While it will be run heavy, I'm not targeting the backup running back in Pittsburgh. So unfortunately, it does look like we have to move Caleb Johnson. Pretty much never going to be drafting Caleb Johnson if he's not the backup. And if he is the backup, there are some cheaper running backs who are actually going to be better handcuffs at price than Caleb Johnson. He looked to me like a pretty good prospect, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like the NFL team that is looking at him day in and day out agrees with me. Going into our next guy, it's going to be a tight end from the Jacksonville Jaguars. As I pulled up the wrong thing, a tight end from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brenton Strange. Now, in Jacksonville, Evan Ingram just left after having some very successful fantasy football seasons, or really one very successful fantasy football season and a couple other okay seasons. Last year, he got injured. Trevor Lawrence got injured. That was a wash. But the other 2 seasons, he outperformed his ADP both times, highlighted by that 2023 season where he was tight end 3 on the season, showing that Trevor Lawrence likes throwing to his tight ends. Brenton Strange is unproven out of Penn State, which is a school that is known for putting out very good tight end prospects. And with Brenton Strange, what I really like about him is the fact that on ESPN, you are getting the right price to take a chance on Brenton Strange to learn exactly what he's going to be this season. He's going off the board at ESPN tight end 27, which is way too low for a guy who has the boom potential that Brenton Strange has. Underdog is a little bit more tapped in. Brenton Strange is going to be underdog at tight end 17, so not as good a price there, but I'm still in on Brenton Strange at that price on underdog as well. Love the boom bust that this player brings to the table. Now, our next guy is going to be someone even less shiny. We're going to be talking about Will Shipley, the handcuff to Saquon Barkley. The reason why we need to talk about Will Shipley is because there was talk about who was going to be the handcuff behind Saquon Barkley. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles are a very strong offense. They're a run-first offense as well. Whoever that starting running back is going to be is a very valuable asset. Saquon Barkley was running back 1 last season in this role. Whoever that handcuff is going to be, should Saquon Barkley miss time, they will be a very, very valuable asset. No doubt the number 1 waiver wire pickup of the week, which is why we want to go out and get in front of it. Now, if we look at the Philadelphia rushing box score from the previous game against the Cleveland Browns, watching the game, we know that the Philadelphia Eagles sat their starters. And with those guys sitting was running back Will Shipley. We can see A.J. Dillon got carries in the game, showing that A.J. Dillon is not considered a starter, whereas Will Shipley is considered a starter, even if he is the second guy in that offense behind Saquon Barkley. If Saquon gets injured, Will Shipley is definitely going to be someone that we are looking for. Now, finishing this off with another guy who had a very, very strong showing. And the reason why Bucky Irving had a strong showing was because he showed us that he is going to be a bell cow for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of the best offenses in football. Last season, it was a committee backfield and Bucky Irving still broke out. He was handling rushing only and wasn't getting a lot of catches, but in PPR or now after he had that great catch in the end zone and they are throwing the ball to him, we are seeing that they are going to use him as a bell cow, which means he's going to get all of the early touches, whether they are receptions or carries, which means in PPR leagues, Bucky Irving is even more attractive, and we can feel very confident drafting him as early as the 2-3 turn, which is where he's going in drafts. Love the prospect that Bucky Irving is this year, and he absolutely can be a league winner if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can stay healthy and, just do everything that they are trying to do and hit their full potential. But that's what I got for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you are new, and thanks for watching.